So my respectful pranams to Maharaj, all the revered Swamijis and Pravarajikajis, and Hari Oms to everybody. It's definitely an honor to be standing here and share one's thoughts, so thank you so much for that. So this is a well-known parable that I picked up. Hopefully it will keep things easy. And I'll just go through it first and then we can dive deeper into the meaning of it. So it goes like this. Suppose a net has been cast into a lake to catch fish. Some fish are so clever that they are never caught in the net. They are like the ever free. But most of the fish are entangled in the net. Some of them try to free themselves from it, and they are like those who seek liberation. But not all the fish that struggle succeed. A very few do jump out of the net, making a big splash in the water. Then the fishermen shout, "Look, there goes a big one." But most of the fish caught in the net cannot escape, nor do they make any effort to get out. On the contrary, they burrow into the mud with the net in their mouths and lie there quietly, thinking, "We need not fear any more. We are quite safe here." But the poor things do not know that the fishermen will drag them out with the net. These are like the men bound to the world. So this is the parable. And one of the beauty of Sri Ramakrishna's teachings is how concisely and precisely he captures such big philosophical truths into simple parables. And this is also definitely one of them, in my opinion, where he so easily captures the different types of people in this world and what they usually do into a very simple parable. And it needs immense amount of clarity, is what I feel. For, of course, he's a realized soul, so an immense amount of clarity that he has is the kind of thing that one needs to be able to make the connection of such big truths with such simple parables. So if we just go, maybe we'll just go line by line and try to get to the deeper meaning of this, and probably that is what we want to do here. Okay. So let's dive into the lake and see what's going on there. So the first line goes, suppose a net has been cast into a lake to catch fish. Now here, the lake resembles our world that we live in, the fish being all the people who are living in the world, and the net being this intricate network of objects of sense enjoyment and pleasures that exist in this world that we all get attracted towards so much in our attempts to find joy and happiness, which is what all of us are seeking. Some fish are so clever that they are never caught in the net. They are like the ever free. This refers to the ever free, ever liberated souls, the Nitya Siddhas, who know the truth and reality of what this world is all about. And they see through these objects of sense enjoyment and can see that even though they might bring momentary pleasure and joy to somebody, but they are associated with so much more pain and misery and suffering that comes along with that. So they never get entangled in it. And they don't need to, because they already have so much immense joy, inner peace, inner bliss within themselves. That's my opinion. I mean, I don't know what Nitya Siddhas feel like, but they probably have so much peace and bliss within themselves. They don't even need to go after these sense enjoyments, because the kind of joy that might bring is probably meaningless for them. Some fish, okay. But most of the fish are entangled in the net. So this is referring, of course, to most of the people in the world, because most of the people don't feel that inner peace, don't get to feel that inner peace and joy till they actually engage in some sense enjoyment. So if I engage in a sense, and sense enjoyments, of course, are like visually appealing sights or tastes that please the tongue or sounds that please the ears and things like that. So we kind of engage in that because that is the best way for us to feel that inner peace and joy. But a lot of times people tend to start thinking that the peace and happiness is probably coming from these objects, which is not the case, because an ice cream which might bring happiness to one person might not really bring happiness to other person. And so it's not that the happiness is in the ice cream, it is just that when it gets in connection with our tongue, it kind of generates some sort of a reaction in us which is causing this inner peace to reflect. And so most of us are entangled in the net of this sense enjoyments and objects of sense enjoyment because we are not realizing this inner happiness within us. And one of the reasons why we also don't do that is because our mind is covered with so many impurities and desires, which is kind of hiding all this inner peace. And so we try to satisfy those desires so that the inner joy can shine through. Some of them try to free themselves from it, and they are like those who seek liberation. So as we see, a lot of people are here, and Vedanta is all about spiritual liberation. So some of the people in the world are definitely trying to get out of this, entanglement of Maya and trying to get themselves liberated and realize the truth. Because sometimes after running after the worldly pleasures, they come to at least understand this fact that this is not what is going to bring them that lasting, enduring peace and joy. So through the hard way or whichever way, they come to understand this fact, and then they go and try to seek liberation from these miseries so that they can get enduring peace and joy. But not all the fish that struggle succeed. Very clearly, there's so many people who definitely tread the spiritual path, but not everybody reaches their goal in this life. Eventually they will definitely reach the goal, and everybody has a path to take. But the good thing is that Sri Krishna assures Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita that whatever efforts you're putting into realization, or whatever efforts a yogi puts into realization, even if he is swept back into the world or he falls from his efforts, still that effort is not wasted. He is going to, of course, get better afterlife, but then after that he's going to be born in the family of maybe realized souls or highly spiritual people, so that he can resume his spiritual path again, and he'll get attracted to that path automatically because his samskaras are so well. So we need not worry, even if all the fish struggle and they don't succeed. Well, in this case, the fish don't have much of an option, because if they don't succeed, then they pretty much, in this parable, they're pretty much eaten away. But at least for us, our soul is, even though this body withers off and falls off, but our soul is still alive, and it's going to go to other bodies, and it's going to get another chance to get liberated. So it's good. Whatever effort we put in, it is increasing our account balance, and there will be a day when our account balance will reach the right level and we'll be able to get out. I like to see this as a unique kind of play, a very different kind of play, because most of the play or most of the sports that you go to watch, you have to buy a ticket to get in, but here you kind of have to buy a ticket to get out. And so you have to make sure that you have enough spiritual practice so that you can get out. Anyway, that's just my opinion. A very few do jump out of the net, making a big splash in the water. Then the fishermen shout, "Look, there goes a big one." So, yes, few of the souls who have been practicing spiritual path for maybe long time, maybe a lot of lives, they reach that stage that they can now get liberated, and they release themselves from this entanglement, and they dissolve into I don't know, maybe dissolve into the reality, or they realize the truth, and they're ever free. They're no longer bound by this world of Maya. They have overpowered, they have realized their true nature. And so they make a big splash. A lot of people look up to them. A lot of people want to also get enlightened through their teachings. Sri Ramakrishna is Sri Ramakrishna is he's a God incarnation, but he's definitely a realized soul, and so many people look up to him and follow his teachings to get realized. So that's a big splash that some of the fish make when they release themselves. But most of the fish caught in the net cannot escape, nor do they make any effort to get out. On the contrary, they burrow into the mud with the net in their mouths and lie there quietly thinking, we need not fear anymore. We are quite safe here. But the poor things do not know that the fishermen will drag them out with the net. And these are like the men bound to the world. So this is basically the state of most people in the world, to think that, okay, whatever pleasure, whatever joy they're getting out of the worldly objects is good enough, and we're going to just continue to live that, and hopefully everything is going to be hunky-dory, and we're never going to have pain and misery and suffering, because we're going to just, go after these sense of enjoyments. But unfortunately it doesn't work, and that's not how Mother intends it to be. I mean, because people have to struggle for the liberation to get that enduring peace.